Hi, it's Joe Chambers from Chambers Custom and 1911 University, bringing you another mathematical review. Tonight we are going to take a close look at a pistol that was sent to me by a client, friend, and patron member that he purchased for his son to get him into shooting a 1911. It's important before we get into this review to remember that this is a sample of one from this company, and it may or may not be indicative of what you get when you order or buy one of these at your local gun store. All right, so with that, let's look at the Springfield Garrison. All right, here it is. Nice looking gun. All stainless steel, government model, bushing barrel, 9mm is what this one is chambered in. It's got thin grips, single side, thumb safety, Novak style front and rear sights with a white dot on them. It's got a 3-hole Videcki style trigger, or grider as we know it now. Now, these guns retail for or MSRP at $900. This one doesn't have the ILS system on the mainspring housing like Springfield is known for. It also doesn't have marks on it saying that it's from Imbel, Brazil, which leads me to believe, and I do not know this for a fact, but it leads me to believe that this gun was manufactured in the United States. It does say S. Genesco, Illinois, USA on it. So yeah, there you have it. I find the markings that they're doing on these now to be much cleaner than back in the old days. The gun looks really nice and clean. It's got good lines, no checkering on the front strap, but the mainspring housing is checkered. And they say that these guns have forged slides and frames, but the small parts we know, the slide stop, thumb safety, mag catch, hammer sear, disconnector, strut, grip safety, firing pin plate, all of that stuff is MEM. The barrel is not MEM, of course. Neither is the bushing or the recoil rod or plug. But all of the small fire control parts, aside from the trigger, are all MEM'd. So, you know, beware of that when you buy one of these. I do like the thin grips also. But here's the deal. This gun, to be honest with you, is very loose. Okay, but don't take my word on it. Let's look at the math. Let's look at the measurements, because math don't lie. 3.14 is always pi. Okay, bushing ID 0.5835, barrel OD 0.5805 for a difference of 0.03. Slide ID 0.7005, bushing OD 0.6992 for a difference of 0.0013, so almost 1.5 thousandths. The bushing can be turned with your fingers with ease. The bushing doesn't have any fore and aft movement when the gun's in battery, which is excellent. Barrel hood to breech face gap is 0.006, so 6 thousandths. The chamber depth is 0.756, which is proper depth for a 9mm in my opinion. But it does not appear to be finish reamed, because I tried a couple of different rounds and they would not seat fully in the chamber. Now, will they do that with the slide forcing them into battery? Probably. They'll probably smash them in there. But on their own accord, they will not drop into the chamber. Slide stop pinhole in the frame is 0.2015. Slide stop pin diameter is 0.1974. for a difference of 0.0041, so call it 4 thousandths. Extractor length 2.229, which is really short, with a breech face gap of 60 thousandths, which is too short, and it'll cause issues. So what that means is when the case is trying to come up under the extractor from the magazine as the slide is moving forward, as the slide's trying to pick that round up, it's going to not want to go up the breech face and into the chamber. So you got the combination of a chamber that's too tight and a breech face gap that's too short, and that's going to mean malfunctions. The ejector length is 1.198, so about 98 thousandths longer than what I would like. You know, Springfield used to only glue their ejectors in place. On this particular gun, they've gone back to putting a pin in there, which is fabulous. I like that. However, the ejector is loose. It's floating up and down on the frame. Now, some would argue and say, well, the ejector's not going anywhere anyway. And you're probably right. It would have to break both pins off the ejector to make it come out the back of the gun. But it's loose. A little glue would have solved this problem. So perhaps they should have stayed with the glue, because the glued ones didn't come loose for a long, long time. Or perhaps they should use glue Loctite with the pin, like we do and most everybody else in the industry does. 0% barrel leg contact with the slide stop pin. I think we all knew that was coming. It does have barrel bump. Slide stop hole in the link is 0.205. That's part of the reason it has the barrel bump. Barrel leg height 0.100, link bridge thickness 0.097, that's a number 3 link. Difference of 0.003, so that's in good shape. Slide to frame fit is where it just goes off the rails, quite frankly. Slide way width varies a lot. In the rear it's 7542 and in the front it's 7522. That's a difference of 2 thousandths taper. It tapers down towards the front. The frame rail width is 744 in the rear and 74835 in the front. So in the rear we have a tolerance difference of 10 thousandths, 0.0101. In the front we have a difference of 0.00385, so almost 4 thousandths. And that's why the gun sounds like that. Slide way height 0.104, frame rail height 0.098. That's a difference of 6 thousandths. Slide rail height 0.11575, frame way height 0.1215. That's a difference of 0.00575. So 5 3/4 thousandths. You could call it 6. That's why it sounds like this, up and down. So the slide to frame fit on this gun is very, very loose by all standards. Also worth noting is not only if the palms of my hands are the back of the frame and the tips of my fingers are the front of the frame, not only does the frame taper like this from front to back, I'm sorry, like this, rather, if this is the back. But the frame rails are also, if you're looking down the frame rails are like this. If you're looking from the back of the gun, right? If you're looking at the back of the gun like this, the frame rails are tapered. And that, as we know, is a problem. Alright, vertical frame impact surface on the frame is 491. Barrel vis measures 480, so 11 thousandths tolerance there. I didn't even bother to check and see if it's hitting because the slide to frame fit is so loose. Sorry guys. Trigger parts. The trigger measures a gritty 3-stage 5 pounds 8 ounces on NRA scales. There are definitely 3 stages to this trigger. It has a 23-pound mainspring. The disconnector is an unmodified drop-in part at 1.293. The sear is an unmodified drop-in part at 774. And the hammer hooks are not dressed for over travel bump and measure 22 thousandths. Okay, so what we have is, and I know some of you guys are like, man, Chambers is being so hard on this gun. I'm not being hard on it, guys. The math is being hard on it. This gun has some mathematical issues that don't stack up. Now, the other side of it is you say, well, it's a $900 gun. Okay, that's true. The disconnector stalls the slide. You can't quite get it to stop like we could on the Prodigy, but it's really, really close. It just wants to. It begs to stop the slide. My estimation is this gun is going to have malfunction issues right out of the box. It's brand new, hadn't been fired by anybody to my knowledge, and it's probably going to have some stoppages and some failures to extract. Would I spend $900 of my money on one of these? Specifically this one? No. Sorry. I wouldn't. So, there you have it, guys. The Springfield Garrison stainless 9mm that was sent in to me to review. Math don't lie. 3.14 is always pi. I'm Joe Chambers with Chambers Custom and 1911 University. Thank you for watching. Hey folks, if you enjoyed this content and this mathematical review, check me out over on Patreon, where my page is listed under 1911 University. There you'll receive updates on upcoming projects, the early release of the drops that we do. You'll see stuff that's for sale that's not offered anywhere else on the internet, and you'll also be able to look up through the catalog of nearly 100 different brands and makes and models of 1911s that I've had the opportunity to do mathematical reviews on, including Chambers Custom guns, during the last almost 2 years now. We're building a great database over there where you can look at the math behind these guns and see what's good and what's not so good, because there is both when you look at some of these guns, the 1911s and 2011s that are on the market today. So yeah, check me out over there if you want more content. There's ways to join that are super cheap, all the way up to the highest level of exclusive stuff that comes up for sale that's only offered to Patreon members. Thank you for watching.